My name is Mike Jackson, and every Monday night at 7 o'clock Eastern Time, today on Tuesday night, we get together for a few minutes with our good Dr. Omar Hamada. He's one of the smartest guys I've ever met in my life. He's a great doctor. Dr. Hamada, I was just on the phone with my surgeon in Florida, talking to him, and I said, Doctor, you're one of the best bedside mannered doctors I have ever met, except for my buddy, Dr. Hamada. So, anyway, I said good
I
stuff
bet
about
that made him feel good.
spreading the word. Hey, folks, about a dozen years ago, there was a big craze going on in the world, and tens of millions of people were buying bottles of juice, and they were paying up to $100 a bottle. Sometimes they would say they were imported from this jungle and they were from this special berry, and it went on and on and on. And I just kind of sat on the sidelines and said, and I'm just not sure, Dr. Hamada. So I didn't do anything. And then I started researching juices and grapes and wine and all those kinds of things. And I found some really incredible stuff about people that were using certain kinds of dark, rich grapes, and it was improving their cardiovascular in an amazing way. And having some background with heart issues, I wanted to learn more about it. And so I did some research. I contacted the PhDs at the University of Georgia because they were working specially on some of these drinks and grapes and this and that. And I said, what do you know about these grapes? And what is the absolute most nutritious, most powerful, heart-friendly grape on the planet Earth? Is it the go-go berry or the gojo berry or this? They said, no, Mike, it's really not. It's grown right here in America, and it's called the muscadine. But the problem is it doesn't taste very good. It's grown in really wicked areas with hot sun and dry weather, and it survives anyway. And they said, but boy, if people would eat that grape, it has amazing health benefits. So I got my scientists together. At that time, I had nearly 1,000 employees under my watch, and we went to work working on a formula that the muscadine grape would use, and we came up with a winner. A super high ORIC score. Dr. Hamada will help you understand that. All the polyphenols, we put the skin and ground it up back into the drink. We put the seeds and ground them up. If you let this sit a while and you look carefully, you'll almost see a little film on the bottle. That's the seed and the pomace and the grape seeds and so forth. So anyway, we started promoting this product. I went out and I bought, Dr. Hamada, $1 million worth of grapes. Boy, I didn't sleep very good for about 2 weeks thinking about those grapes spoiling or whatever, right? But we figured out the strategy, we figured out the plan, and we came up with a product that we called Heartland Select. Now, later, the company wanted to have it match all their other labeling, and they called it Replenish, but I still think of it as Heartland Select. And we began marketing that product. One time, Dr. Hamada, I was going down through the desert with my 42-foot motor coach, and I had a bottle of Heartland Select Replenish next to me, and had a habit of just kind of drinking it out of the bottle, because I was alone and I didn't have anything else to put it in, right? So I'm going down the road with my motor coach, and I got this bottle up like this, and I drink it, and a car comes by, and they almost crashed into the other side of the road. They thought I was drinking wine while I was driving the motor coach. Dr. Hamada, this is an amazing product. I talked to my surgeon today in Florida. He's one of the world's leading heart surgeons, and I told him about the product. He says, Mike, send me down a bottle. I want to learn about this. I'm for anything that improves the arteries, that improves the strength of the heart, that can help because it's not all about surgery. It's not all about drugs. There are things that we can do, and that's where the word nutraceutical comes from, nutrition that acts like a medicine. And boy, Dr. Hamada, if there ever was a product that was nutrition and natural that acts like a medicine, it's Heartland Select. So Dr. And Replenish, sorry for the name. So Dr. Hamada, I know we talked about Heartland Select last week, but the company got really fired up after we talked last week, and they came up with a 10% discount just for a couple of weeks and free shipping. And Dr. Hamada, you know how heavy this is. 4 bottles of this is like 10 pounds because it's liquid. And so, and the bottle, actually more than that. And so to get free shipping on that and 10% off is a whale of a deal. But tell me once again, Doc, why my arteries, why my body needs the coating, needs the power of this muscadine blend, sir?
Mike, that was some great history. And I certainly enjoyed hearing it. So let's kind of start back at the beginning in terms of health and what it is, right? So when we look at health, we want to do 3 things. We want to decrease chronic inflammation.
Okay.
We want to improve immune system function. And we want to decrease oxidative stress inside the cells caused by free radicals and things like that by using things that we call antioxidants. There are many different kinds of antioxidants. The 3 best antioxidants that our body produces that we can't really take much of, but we can take precursors for our body to make them, are glutathione, catalase, and SOD, or superoxide dismutase. Now, there are many other things that have antioxidant properties that aren't as powerful. Things like vitamin C, vitamin A, vitamin E, zinc, selenium. They have antioxidant properties, but nothing like superoxide dismutase and catalase and glutathione. So when we look at food things, one thing that I love about Valora is that we're not trying to fill people's bodies up with supplements that are worthless so they can just eliminate them from their bodies and have expensive urine like so many other companies. I mean, the supplement market is overwhelming. You go to Costco and the shelves are full of so many different kinds of supplements, and you sit there in a daze thinking, what do I need? What do I need to buy? If you eat a healthy, nutritious, whole food diet, then you need very few supplements, truly. And that's what Valora does, is we try to provide you the ability to eat whole food diets. I mean, that's what Essentials for Life is. It's basically a whole food with fruits and vegetables and probiotics and enzymes and some vitamins and minerals. So it's not a supplement, so to speak. It's really a whole food if you think about it. Well, Replenish is another whole food. When we are looking at healthy diets, we try to get people to eat things that are simple in terms of an ingredient list. You don't want to look at an ingredient list and see, dozens of ingredients with chemicals and additives and other types of things. You want to eat things and drink things that have very few additives, very few things that are non-natural, right? So that's where Replenish is. It's a whole food. It was made by God to help benefit our bodies. What we talked about last week is that the power of it even isn't in the juice. It's really in the seed and the skin. That's where the power of these oxidative reductive potentials are when it comes to these muscadine grapes. And they're more powerful than any of these other things that we'll cover tonight. So the way we measure antioxidant power is with something called an ORAC score. It stands for an oxygen radical absorbance capacity test. And when we look at the ORAC score of different kinds of berries, Mike, I appreciate that you mentioned all these different juices. Every every nutraceutical company that's out there is going to have a juice that comes with it, whether it's mangosteen or ACI or goji berry or a combination of different berries. And many of them taste good and they all have health benefits. I'm not going to say they don't because they do. But when you look at the power of the antioxidant power in them, nothing compares to the power of muscadine grapes, that especially what's in the skin and in the seed. It's not just the juice. That's why Replenish, when you drink it, it's not like, a grape juice that you buy off the shelf at Walgreens or Costco or Kroger, like Welch's grape juice with added sugars and things like that. Even if it's 100% pure grape juice, it has some heft to it. When you drink it, there's a little bit of a thicker juice that you're consuming. And that's because it's not just the juice. It's more of an emulsion, I guess, of the skin and the seed, which is where the power is when it comes to the antioxidant potential. So let me just read you some of these numbers. The ACI berry, and this is from the Brunswick labs. When we look at the ORAC scores that include phenolics and anthocyanins and things like that, when we look at the ORAC scores, which again measures the antioxidant potential, the ACI berry has about 25,000 units. Mangosteen, about 32,000 units. The goji berry, about 15,000 units. The muscadine, almost 65,000 units of antioxidant potential. So much, much greater than any of these other comparative products. And again, the ORAC score, or the antioxidant power in the muscadine berry, is primarily in the skin and the seed. So what does this really mean? What does it do? It helps when we decrease inflammation, chronic inflammation, when we decrease oxidative stress, when we improve immune system function, it heightens our system to more immediately recognize disease and fight it. Things like cancer, things like infections. It helps our blood vessels. When we talk about high cholesterol and plaquing inside the arteries, and I showed you a picture last week, what's really happening there is there's inflammation in the vessel wall and oxidation of the cells in the vessel wall that are then getting damaged and dying and being injured. And the body reacts to try to heal those things. And the way it reacts is it forms a bandage around those things to try to stop the damage. But that bandage is usually in the form of cholesterol. And over time, the bandage gets thicker and thicker and thicker and then starts calcifying. And we call those things calcified plaques. And when those calcified plaques become big enough, they can either rupture and fill the entire vessel lumen. So then you have a stoppage of blood flow in that vessel. And if it's a major vessel on the surface of the heart, you have a heart attack. If it's a major vessel in your brain, you have a stroke. Or the lumen gets so thin because of all those bandages, cholesterol bandages being put on the damaged lining, that you then might have also, you might have something that we call a blood clot that either gets thrown into that area or it forms in that area because of the damage to the vessel. And the blood clot does the same thing as a ruptured plaque. It occludes the lumen of the vessel and it causes a stoppage of blood flow. And when blood flow, stops, it ceases delivery of nutrients, vital, essential nutrients like oxygen and other things that are necessary for cellular function. And then those cells start dying. So what this does is it helps reduce that inflammation. It helps reduce the oxidative stress, and it helps maintain a healthy blood vessel status or state, wherever it is, in your leg, in your heart, in your eyeball, in your brain. Because it's not, if you have vascular disease in one place, you've got vascular disease primarily, really everywhere. And it's sort of what gets to you first. So, and it's not just that, but there's so many other diseases: rheumatoid arthritis, joint dysfunction, aches and pains, muscle aches, slowing down, decreased energy. So what we recommend is that you take 2 ounces a day of muscadine juice with high ORAC scores to decrease inflammation and decrease oxidative stress inside your cells. improving vessel function, improving bodily functions so that we can maintain health. And again, it's not a supplement, it's a whole food. Of course, I don't recommend you down the whole bottle. I mean, you could, but it is a higher sugar load. So if you drink the whole bottle of juice, I mean, that's a pretty high sugar load. It's like, Mike, with you being diabetic, then that's going to present a little bit of a problem. 2 ounces, there's not much in there. I mean, I can't remember what it is, but it's about 30 calories of sugar. So pretty much insignificant in terms of the sugar load, even if you are diabetic on insulin. So we recommend that everybody take 2 ounces of Replenish every day to help improve their health. Mike, what do you think about that?
Well, there's 24 servings if you take 2 ounces in 2 bottles. And a real smart thing to do is take and drink your muscadine with your supplements. Get it all done at the same time. I keep everything on my desk, and then throughout the day, as Nada brings me snacks, she just brought me some cheese and some apples and some crackers. And so I'll take my supplements, I'll drink my muscadine. I'm sending 2 bottles to one of the world's foremost heart surgeons in the morning. I already told him it's on the way. When you've got credibility, Dr. Hamada, like these very high-end professors at the University of Georgia, they don't do things commercially. They do things scientifically. I couldn't have get them to wrote that book in a million years just to make money. Now, this guy, I probably could have got him to do that. Dr. Summersall, my friend. He writes things in a way, doctor, that are easy to read. These guys, very scientific. And they believe, the doctors at the University of Georgia, that this is one of the premium things that you can do for your heart. Now, I take 3 different medications that I have to take for my heart. My doctor says if you don't take them for a week, your stent will clog up, you'll have heart problems, and you will die. So guess what I do, Dr. Hamada? I take them.
You take them.
Right? One of them is $150 a month after my insurance. The other one is $140 a month after insurance. And one of them is $100 a month after insurance. That's just for 3 medicines. Now, this product, that it's a natural medicine, nutraceutical. And Mr. Bill Coyle said, look, if you guys, Hamada, and you might think so much of this product, let's discount it. Let's ship it for free because people hate shipping. Is everybody with me? We hate shipping. That's why I have an Amazon card, whatever they call that, Prime, because I get a lot of stuff and I don't pay any shipping. So I'd really encourage you guys. Let's start a movement. Okay, let's start a movement with these amazing nutraceuticals and this Heartland Select, this Replenish, and leading the charge, Dr. Omar Hamada.